Before the sun ever dared to rise, something ancient was stolen. In the breathless stillness between night and day, a quiet fairy named Elin broke the one rule no sky folk had ever dared touch. She took the heart of the grey hour. Time stuttered. Shadows spread. Dreams collapsed into waking nightmares. Now, the skies are unraveling, and balance is lost. But only Elin knows the truth: silence isn't empty, it's sacred. And without it, even magic can burn itself out. I was born in the hush of the morning mist, where clouds sleep low over silver hills. The others said I was made from fog and forgotten songs. While they flew high under the golden sun, I stayed closer to the ground, listening to the quiet. They called me soft. Strange. I didn't mind. We were all part of the sky folk, fairies of wind, light, and weather. Each of us had a task. Some painted sunsets. Others guided the rain. I had none. I was too quiet, too slow. The elders said I hadn't found my hour yet. Every fairy had an hour of the day they were born to serve. Noon fairies were loud and proud. Evening fairies were graceful and kind. But me? I belonged to the hour before dawn. They called it the grey hour. No one wanted that hour. It wasn't light or dark. I wasn't happy or sad. It was just still. But in that stillness, I felt something. I heard the world breathe. I watched dreams leave the sleeping and drift into the sky like smoke. I saw the stars say goodbye, one by one. It was the hour when nothing moved, but everything was changing. Still, no one celebrated it. No songs, no dances, no light shows. Just silence. The other fairies thought it was a forgotten space. An empty gap between the night and the day. I started to wonder, what if the grey hour wasn't empty? What if it was hiding something important? Something even the elders didn't see? I was small, and I was quiet. But the hour I came from had secrets. And I was ready to find them. Even if I had to break a few rules to do it. One morning, just before the sun woke up, I decided I couldn't wait any longer. The grey hour had always felt like it was holding its breath. I wanted to know why. I had watched it my whole life, how the clouds paused, how even the wind seemed to stop moving, as if waiting for something that never came. So I flew to the edge of the skyfolk's land, where the hour trees grow. There are 24 of them, one for each hour. Each tree glows with the color of its time. Noon blazes gold. Midnight hums with deep blue. And there, between the black of night and the yellow of morning, stood the grey tree. Pale. Quiet. Overlooked. At the base of the tree was a small door. I had seen it before, but the elders told us never to open it. They said it held the heart of the hour, and only timekeepers could touch it. But that day, I touched it. The door opened with a sigh. Inside was a small, silver orb. It pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. It felt cold and warm at the same time. I didn't think, I reached out and took it. The moment I did, the stillness broke. Wind rushed through the sky. Clouds began to move too fast. Dreams scattered in the wrong direction. Everything that had been waiting, started moving too soon. And me? I felt more alive than I ever had. I could feel the world moving through me. I had taken control of the grey hour. I had stolen its silence. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel invisible. But what I didn't know was this. The grey hour didn't just belong to time. It belonged to balance. At first, no one noticed what I had done. The sun rose a little faster, the skies looked a bit brighter, and the other fairies went about their work as usual. But I saw it. I felt it. Something was wrong. The morning birds began singing before the stars had faded. Flowers opened too early, confused by the light. The dew didn't settle. It scattered. The dreams I used to watch drift gently from the sleeping now burst like smoke, leaving people restless when they woke. Then came the shadows. Not the kind that follows the sun. These were slow-moving and wide, like spilled ink across the hills. They didn't belong to anything. They simply slid across the land, and wherever they passed, things stopped working: clocks, clouds, even the laughter of children. The other fairies started whispering. They blamed each other. They blamed the weather. They even blamed the moon. But deep down, I knew. I had touched something I wasn't meant to hold. Each day, I grew more afraid. The silver orb pulsed in my satchel, slower and colder than before. I tried to put it back, but the gray tree wouldn't open its door again. It remained shut, as if angry with me. Or maybe protecting itself. Then the dreams changed. They weren't soft anymore. People started dreaming of falling, of losing things, of endless fog. And some began waking up too early, tired, confused, forgetting where they were. Others didn't wake at all. The gray hour had always been quiet. But now, without it, everything was too loud. Too fast. Too broken. And I was the one who had done it. I had stolen silence, and now the world didn't know how to rest. I couldn't let it go on. One night, when the stars looked dim and the wind wouldn't settle, I left. I flew past the hour trees, beyond the rim of the sky, into the space where no fairy dares go. The air there was thin. Time felt slower, like every second had to be pulled forward. I followed the fading pulse of the silver orb. It led me to the hollow place, the space between hours. A quiet valley where nothing lived, but everything waited. And in the middle stood her. She didn't glow. She didn't float. She stood still, as if she had always been there. A figure wrapped in gray robes, her face hidden behind a veil of mist. "You took what was not yours," she said gently. Not angry. Just tired. "Who are you?" I asked. "I am the keeper of stillness," she answered. "I am what holds the world between its breaths." I showed her the orb. I didn't mean to break it. I just wanted to be part of something. "You already were," she said. "But stillness isn't empty. It holds things others cannot see: patience, healing, memory, peace. Without it, even joy turns to noise." I felt ashamed. I handed her the orb, and she took it carefully, like one might hold a bird's egg. She placed it on the ground. The earth hummed. The mist began to rise. I heard the sound I hadn't realized was missing: a pause. A soft, full silence. Not the kind that feels cold, but the kind that lets your heart rest. "Go home," she said. "The gray hour has missed you." And just like that, she was gone. But I was not the same fairy who had come. I was ready to carry the silence, not steal it. When I returned, the sky was still. Not broken, not rushing. Just calm. The gray tree stood with its door open, waiting. I didn't have to knock. I stepped inside, and it welcomed me. The orb was already there, pulsing steady and soft. The silence had returned to its rightful place, not heavy, not forgotten, but whole. The elders didn't scold me. They didn't need to. They had seen what I had done and what I had learned. From that day, they gave me a new name: not windless, not strange. They called me Keeper of the Quiet Hour. Now, every day, when the world holds its breath before the sun wakes, I fly. I do not paint the sky or command the wind. I listen. I guide the dreams back to their resting place. I watch the clouds slow, and I remind the stars when it's time to sleep. I do nothing out loud. But stillness is no longer a forgotten space. Fairies now wait with respect during the gray hour. Children sleep more deeply. Even the birds hold their song for just one moment longer. Because in that moment, when the day has not yet begun and the night has not yet ended, everything becomes clear. That hour, once empty and overlooked, is now where peace lives. Where healing happens. Where the heart remembers how to be quiet. And me? I used to think I had to steal silence to feel important. Now I know, silence was never mine to steal. It was mine to protect. So if you ever wake up just before the sun and feel the air resting gently on your skin, listen closely. That's me. I'm still there, between the last dream and the first light. carrying the quiet, one breath at a time.